Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. And often these systems involve organization, and today we're talking about 5 ways that getting organized can help strengthen you financially. Okay, now if I were to go up and ask a random person on the street the best way to improve their financial situation, what do you think they would say? I mean, there's a variety of options, right? Like get an education or invest in real estate. Or someone might say win the lottery or use coupons. I mean, there are a lot of things that we can do that can impact our finances, for better or for worse. But today I'm just sharing this one key idea that is often overlooked, but the impact is huge, and it's to get organized. And what I mean when I say that is to build your command central. We call it our STEP command central, Steps to Everyday Productivity. It's our program here at Learn to Become. But when you build a system that actually holds all the things in your life and helps your brain to feel calm, it's amazing. But I'm going to share 5 ideas today that you can apply right away. You don't have to have a whole system built. But if you do have your command central built, then I think that you're just going to love it even more because you'll know how to implement it. Okay, but just a little quick backstory. I kind of can't believe that I'm recording a podcast like this because about 15 years ago, I was sitting in a conference where the speaker invited us to contemplate our greatest weakness. And it was so we could ask God for help and learn how our higher power could help us with our weaknesses. And I sat down and was kind of journaling in my notes, and the weakness that I selected was finances. I just thought, I'm terrible at finances. I don't like thinking about money. Money stresses me out. I don't know how to earn money. I don't know how to invest. I don't know how to do anything with it. And I just feel so overwhelmed when it comes to anything financial. Now, fast forward from that point, Eric and I, for the next decade or so, worked really hard together. We learned a lot, read a lot of books. We did so many things to be able to be disciplined in our spending and to be able to earn more. And anyway, we worked together, and we were one time able to go to Dave Ramsey's radio show. He has a building where he does his radio show. And we didn't want to go on the show and do what they call a debt-free scream where you yell, "We're debt-free." We didn't want to do that. But during the commercial breaks, he would come out into the lobby and talk to people who were there, and they had a bookshop and things like that. And so when he came out in the lobby one time, Eric and I said, "Can we just do a debt-free whisper to you?" Because, we're kind of private people, but we wanted to do a little debt-free whisper. And so we did. We had this little conversation with Dave Ramsey. Anyway, it was really fun. And so I will just say that the things that I'm sharing today are 5 things that have to do with getting organized and finances that really made a difference for me personally. And so I just want to share them with you because I hope that they will be helpful. Where, if you are struggling with your financial situation, hopefully this will give you some ideas. Or if you're not struggling financially, this may also just give you some ideas on how to continue to be a wise steward of the resources that are available to you. Okay, so number 1, when you're organized, you have solid routines in place. And those solid routines, if structured optimally, will strengthen your financial foundation. Many money-related improvements that we want in our lives require consistency. So I'll just share 2 routines that were really helpful for me and Eric. First was budgeting. We sat down and we figured out, okay, what are our expenses that we've already decided? Like we already decided that we tithe and we give money to charity every month. We also had decided upon expenses like this is how much we pay for our house. This is how much we pay for health insurance. These are things we've already decided upon, so it's not going to change month to month. And then we had additional expenses that we really had quite a bit of control over. How much are we going to spend on groceries? How much are we going to spend on eating out or activities or birthday presents, things like that. And so we put together our budget And we actually have a podcast we did with Dave Ramsey's daughter, Rachel Ramsey Cruz. And so I'll link that in the show notes page. But on that page, I also have little screenshots of our budget categories that we used at the time, so you can see that as well. Another routine that I just did really, really well was tracking every dollar that I spent. And at the time, I just had a page in my planner, and every time I made a purchase, whether it was online or at a store, whatever method, I wrote it down and what category it belonged in. I just had it there right in front of me so I could see all of my expenses and see, how often I was making purchases, or be able to compare the purchases to the others. And having it just on one page, it wasn't an app or anything fancy, but it was really, really helpful for me. In fact, one time at the grocery store, there was a clerk, and as soon as I got my total for my groceries, I opened my planner and I wrote down how much I spent. And the clerk said, "Wow, that's such a good idea. I should write that down. I just stick my receipts in my purse and I never even pay attention to it." And so just that habit, knowing I was writing it down, I was deliberate, I was thinking about it, I was reviewing my purchases, that was really, really helpful for me. Okay, the second idea here is that when you're organized, you have a clean environment that will protect money from getting buried. Now, we have an amazing community here at Learn, Do, Become, and especially in our Steps to Everyday Productivity program, we have our Step Mastery Facebook group, and people are always sharing in there what they found, what money they found. But sometimes it's gift cards, sometimes it's cash, sometimes it's checks, sometimes it's something they realize, oh, I could get this benefit if I send in this thing, And my favorite, this was several years ago, but we had someone say that they found all of these boxes in their garage that their mother-in-law had passed on to them when she had passed away. And they just never looked in the boxes. It was like all this stuff. But when they finally did, they found a $17,000 trust fund or a special gift that had been left for their son, her grandson. But she never told anyone about it. So if they hadn't gone through the box, they would never have known there was $17,000. I mean, that's a pretty nice gift, pretty nice find. So I just love the idea of knowing that when I have clear space, I'm not losing all of this, money or, gift cards or things that I would be able to use otherwise. Also, when you're organized and your space is clear, you aren't buying duplicates of things because you already know what you have and you know how to find what you have. And you won't have late fees because you're actually paying your bills or returning your library books or whatever it is. So just having the clean environment and not burying our stuff is huge. Number 3, you have a focused list of projects when you're organized that will enable you to do things that will directly impact your income. So many times when there's projects that need to be finished, we procrastinate them because they feel hard. There's often so many steps that our brains just can't wrap themselves around it, so we just postpone it over and over and over again. But I will give 3 examples of projects that I have seen impact the bottom line, either for me or for friends. And I just invite you to think of your own projects that you know could make a difference for you. So first, we had a member of our STEP program who created an Airbnb using a room in their home. And so they showed the before picture and the after picture, and it was just this, nice room, but it had tons of stuff in it. And then they were able to get it just looking beautiful and got new bedding and some curtains and just made it look really, really nice. So now, instead of that bedroom just being a big, mess or a place to hold stuff, it was generating income for their family. Another project is learning how to invest. The more I've been reading books about investing, The Simple Path to Wealth, that's one of our favorites. The more excited I get thinking how when your money can work for you, that just makes such a difference in the long run. And I didn't know anything about investing to begin with, but Eric had some books that he'd read and he wanted me to read them too. And he didn't want to just jump in and do investing alone. He wanted us to do it together, which I'm grateful for, but I was really nervous. But as we were able to read the books and study some different opportunities and start actually taking steps to invest, just slowly, a little at a time, we weren't doing anything crazy, But it's been amazing how over the years we're able to continually feel more solid and excited about our investments. And then I'm also looking at new investment opportunities that make sense, for us in our stage of life. So just being able to figure that out, how to just get started, that's been great. And then just one other one that's really been fun for us is, a few years ago, our business needed just something that was going to add a little excitement and energy and something to just continue to support our efforts here. And I had this idea to do our 4 weeks to finished and thought, oh, that would be fun. It's using our existing STEP program, but it's more coaching that people have been asking about. How about we put this together? And so I just sat down and I brainstormed this project with this awesome 4 weeks to finish coaching program and how we would articulate it, how we could share it with our community, how we would invite people to come, how we would over deliver, like how we could make it an amazing experience. And we did several sessions of that. Right now it's currently not open, but we had so many sessions and were able to help hundreds of people in our community. But it was a project. Definitely was a project, building it and getting all the steps together. But now if we want to run it again, I have all the steps already outlined. We just duplicate the project and we just go step by step and everything's done as far as the think work behind the scenes. So it's easier for us to go ahead and, and do it. So that's just an example of how I use project management to impact, the finances of our business and our family. And I hope that this empowers you as you think, okay, what value can I bring to the world? What skills do I have? What could I do to be able to use my energy and abilities and willingness to serve to, make our family more financially stable? I think it's really fun. And it feels really good when you're able to not feel like you have to be a victim to circumstances, but that you can do something to contribute and to be paid for your work. All right, number 4. An organized mind creates space for additional education. You know how when you have a cluttered mind, how you don't want to learn anything more because you feel like you don't have room for it? That's how I used to feel. But when your mind is organized, you just have space and you have a desire to learn. So whether it's books or courses or certifications or another degree, you now have the capacity to increase your skills. And sometimes just getting that extra degree or certification alone can earn you a higher paycheck. And sometimes that further education will just give you other ideas that will help you to, contribute and bring more value to the marketplace. But I love the idea that I can calm my mind, create space, and then I can go out and learn. And then that just becomes this virtuous cycle. And number 5, when you're organized, you have goals that are defined and you know how to wisely manage your time and money, energy, and possessions. And you make more deliberate decisions. For example, when you're organized, you buy what you actually need because you're making a list and you're going to run errands on purpose and you're coming home with what you need, not just a bunch of random stuff. You also learn how to set boundaries so that you don't overextend yourself, financially or just time-wise or otherwise. I think you also have more confidence in your planned projects and routines. So you're not all over the place, wasting time and energy. You're kind of, setting your path and then walking it and making, adjustments as needed, but you're not hopping around all the time. And it's just exciting to know that I don't have to jump from thing to thing to thing all day. I actually have a plan and routines and I do them and it feels wonderful. So I hope that these are helpful to you. I've noticed for me, a huge weight came off my shoulders when we got our financial life in order. It helps us now where we can donate and we can help support great causes and invest in people. And we can live a life without worrying constantly about every little thing we need to buy. I love being able to be wise and measured and careful and know that we, save for a rainy day and that we have that financial stability so we can be a support to others. I want each person here at Learn to Become to be able to feel that because it's not the norm in the world. Most people in the world are living paycheck to paycheck. And, money is a struggle for a lot of people. But as we get organized, I think a natural result of that is that we're then going to strengthen ourselves financially. Okay, and I know it sounds weird sometimes when I say Command Central solves all your problems, but I do believe that it can impact every area of our life, and that's why I'm so excited about it. So if you're brand new, come to learndobecome.com/step. You can learn more about our STEP program, how to build a Command Central, because it's awesome. And if you want to learn more about how to strengthen yourself financially, that's one of our 6 categories of focus in our Arise membership. You can come to learndobecome.com/arise. And this is really one of Eric's strengths. He's helped me so much, and he comes into Arise and is so helpful there. We have these 6 topics that we rotate through. And anyway, I love it. I love Arise and excited about the things coming there. So, okay, thanks for being with us. I hope that you're able to feel excited and empowered, and so grateful to have you here as part of our community. And we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.